Hello YouTube, it is GZTV back with another video. In this video, we're here to talk about the 6th episode of Season 4 of Ozark. Oh my god, I need to move this cord. We have a couple videos set up today. There's a Wemby video that I announced last night that I'm in the process of editing. Should have it out to you guys sometime this afternoon. Shout out to my boy Caesar for helping me on the thumbnail and, giving me some tips and stuff like that. But, we're here to talk about Thin Blood here in this Ozark episode. As you guys know, this weekend we're not going to be doing any NBA recaps. I know the in-season tournament group play shit starts, and it's kind of a big moment, but it is what it is. So the penultimate episode of this half season of Ozark tracks dual family betrayals. That of Omar and his nephew Javi, and that of Wendy and her son Jonah. So it's going to be a two-part season. I kind of learned about, 7 episodes each, and we're damn near halfway. It is kind of crazy to think about. I don't really want this show to be over because I really enjoy it. I think it's a really fun show to watch. One could even toss the death of Frank Cosgrove on this pile, in that it doesn't happen if his son doesn't work a deal behind his back with Darlene. I mean, that could possibly be seen as another family betrayal. Again, this season's theme has been how family and business don't mix. Bringing your family into business is never a good idea. And those who forget that may not even live to regret it. So, FBI agent Maya Miller is on another bust to open the episode, and it's easy to sense that something is going to go wrong from the second the driver flees the truck. Yeah, you know something's happening. Maybe TV viewers are trained for this kind of thing, but didn't you sense the truck was going to explode long before it did, or at least, this was some sort of setup by the Navarro cartel? Maybe. At least long before, the SWAT team member says that there are no warm bodies on the truck. There's nobody in the fucking truck. Everyone's fucking dead in there and stuff like that. Clearly, Javi wanted to send a message, but will that message derail any hope for his uncle's scheme? Now it seems like he's kind of trying to ruin. I mean, I don't think he's doing it on purpose, but ruining Navarro's chances at kind of getting out of here. He wants to get the fuck out of. Sorry, that's my alarm. I was supposed to be up at 11, got up earlier. You know me, I'm just kind of grinding. I probably shouldn't have got up this early. I got plenty of sleep. It is what it is. That was probably loud as fuck in the mic. My fault. But later. Shit, I can't talk right now. Maya calls Marty about the explosion, and he immediately calls Omar, who demands a meeting. If Omar's going to get out of this drug business, it has to be sooner than they plan. Like, he's being a really demanding guy. He wants to get out. I don't fucking blame him. He's in deep shit. And any deal he can get with the FBI, he's going to take it. So, back in the Ozarks, we discover that Wendy Bird didn't just let Darlene Snell die in the driveway. She called for help. She saved her. Is anyone else a little disappointed? I don't know. I feel like most people kind of wanted Darlene to die, which is obviously a fucked up thing to say. But with all the factors involved and, all the things she's done, it's not a ridiculous thing to say. Not only would that move have really cemented Wendy as the sociopath she's increasingly become over the run of the show, but it also would have created such upheaval in the drug trade, would have created so much drama. I feel like that would have probably been more of like a mid-season finale type of thing to kill someone like that, but yeah. No, Darlene is still alive and blaming Ruth for the heart attack. Why the fuck are you blaming Ruth again? I don't know. She tells Wyatt that she doesn't want his cousin around them anymore. She's bad for business. She's going behind her back and doing stupid shit, even though she just brought in more money for what was handed to her than could even be imaginable. As has been foreshadowed, Wyatt will probably have to choose between the two most powerful women in his life. Before Wyatt can talk to Ruth, Garner has a nice beat when she tells Jonah about how her mom died, and a hit and run when Ruth was only 8. And this is really interesting because I think this is like the first time we've ever learned about this. And I think it's really cool when characters finally reveal their origin stories and what happened to their parents and finally explaining things. I think it's a really nice touch on the story. So Jim is about to learn the truth about his favorite client. Obviously the guy that works with Wendy. After invoking attorney-client privilege, Wendy reveals that what the Birds do for a living, laundering drug cartel money through the many foundations and power structures Jim has helped set up. Well, he can't turn back now. He's already deep enough in the business. She does so because she wants him there when the deal is drawn up between Omar and the FBI, but it feels like the kind of information that could get him killed. Damian Young is very good this season, capturing someone who realizes he's too deep in the woods to turn back, even if moving forward may get him killed. Like he has to do his job here. Marty goes to Jefferson City to smooth out the FBI Omar deal. He reminds them that they've been chasing Omar for years and now is the time to catch him. It would cripple half the drug trade in the country. I mean, that's how big the Navarro cartel is. However, they're going to need proof that Omar wasn't behind the bombing himself. They think he did it. Like, they genuinely think that. Can Marty figure out a way to throw Javi under the bus? Sorry if my lips are chapped. They are a little bit. He tries to convince Omar to do just that a few scenes later, but Omar plays tough, at least at first. He really doesn't want to turn on his family. That goes against a code, obviously. However, he talks to his nephew and basically passes the torch, telling him that the Ozarks are now his. This is your business. Go do whatever the fuck you want with it. And now, that gives Omar a nice little cover to throw him in front of the bus, you know. Omar will get out. He even says the birds are yours. Is this an honest succession of power, or is Omar pushing Javi out in front just before the firing squad takes aim? A great scene between Laura Linney and Lisa Emery unfolds in the hospital where Wendy claims to have saved Darlene's life. Yeah, just barely. And Darlene noticed, you didn't want to, I saw it. You could see the body language. Just a mention of Ruth dealing with Marty again and Charlotte's friendship with Wyatt nearly killed Darlene. And Wendy digs into the wounds, reminding Darlene who's in charge. We can take everything else you have, she says. With oxygen tubes coming out of her nose, Darlene has the nerve to say, I am as strong as a bull. Well, are you? You just had a heart attack for, it seemed like no fucking reason. Ruth knows that the brief business relationship with Darlene will come to a crashing end soon, and she asks Wyatt to choose. He takes the side of Darlene and Zeke, leaving Ruth nowhere to go. Wyatt was her only remaining ally other than poor Sam. Like, there's really not that many people on her side anymore. Wendy goes to Paducah to ID a body that someone thinks is Ben, but she knows it isn't, of course. I mean, it's pretty fucking creepy that she'd even take this offer. And she goes with her relatively estranged father, which leads to a brutal scene over coffee. These two hate each other, and they passive-aggressively hurl insults, through sarcasm, and it's crazy. Dad gets a really good line that makes clear how long Wendy's fatal narcissism has been a part of her identity. You never did understand the world didn't revolve around you. You really do learn a lot about Wendy in the last couple of seasons. Like, at first she seems like a pretty normal person, but now it's like, wow, this girl really just doesn't give a fuck about anyone but herself. Like, it's crazy. So, Javi is raced to the bell to cause trouble, telling Marty he's the new boss, suggesting that the birds move to Macau, which is like somewhere in Mexico, I believe, where the Navarro operations are going on. Javi wants to run the operation, talk to Maya, and be in charge of every decision. That's not happening, Javi. But Marty calls Omar, who makes clear that he's ready to give up almost everything that Javi thinks he's now controlling. The money, the roots, and possibly even his flesh and blood. Possibly even just get his cousin killed, It's wild. These fraught family ties define the final arcs of this episode. First, Frank gives his son a hard time about the Snell deal and then goes to Darlene herself to continue the trade. As he's ranting, Darlene casually walks into the other room and returns with a shotgun with which she blasts a hole in Frank's chest. She's done taking orders. She's done with the talk. Get the fuck out of here, Frank. Like, you've pushed Darlene to her limits. Obviously, not everyone knows who Darlene really is, but yeah. Wyatt returns later and freaks out about the murder before going to Ruth. It's just crazy. She just leaves him out there for Wyatt to see, like a damn trophy, like a damn museum exhibit. It's crazy. Will this be the decision that pushes him to the other side? It looks possible, as Wyatt even rehearses breaking up with Darlene, but the poor kid goes in the exact opposite direction of which he should be running. Finding an upset Darlene, he asks her to marry him. Does Wyatt have a savior complex? Does he just need to be needed? Like, who in their right minds would return to that woman after what the fuck just happened? While all that is happening, and after Javi subtly threatens Jim with a visit, Wendy is planning for the downfall of her own son, trying to teach him a lesson, even though it's a fucking felony to money launder. First, she figures out that he wouldn't do much time and that they could get a laundering charge stricken from his record. Second, she goes to the motel and convinces poor Sam to let her into Jonah's office, just being used as a pawn at this point, from which she gets the information to flag one of his accounts. This is followed by a fascinating long scene in which a smiling Wendy drinks with Charlotte. She's really celebrating selling out her own son, which is quite fucking creepy, which is quite fucked up. It's crazy, man. Jonah gets the flag error and panics, calling his dad to come and fix it. His dad obviously knows everything about money laundering, knows everything about accounts, illegal accounts, legal, whatever. Will he save Jonah from the trap set by his wife? He does a few things and then discovers a bit of Wendy's trail. The flag came from an outside party. He knows it was Wendy, and Sam later reveals to Jonah that his mom was there earlier that day, pretty much ratting her out. What a damn idiot. What was Wendy thinking? She really thought she could get away with flagging her own son's account? Like, what are we doing here? He comes home furious, and Marty can't believe it either. I mean, you don't get credit for saving your kid from a burning building if you're the one who set it on fire. Just as Wendy is sicking the authorities on Jonah and Omar seems to be sicking the FBI on his nephew, Ruth is ready to do the same with Frank Jr. and Darlene. She emotionally tells him about the death of his father, another great Garner scene in what may be her best season, and then asks for a day to clean up some of the mess before he can do whatever you need to do to Darlene. Like, fucking kill her. I don't give a shit. I don't like this girl. She's fucking psychotic. Like, can you really blame Ruth for saying shit like this? And it's really cool because you can tell these aren't fake emotions for Ruth. Like, she genuinely cares about this, and it's genuinely a fucked up thing what Darlene did. It's cool to see some humanity out of her character. You know, she can be a hard ass, she can be brute sometimes, but it's cool to see a really emotional moment here with her. So, in the end, the pieces are in place to deliver Omar Navarro to the FBI in 12 hours, and the birds can be free. But Jonah is gone? What will they do? What will they have to do to get him there so everyone can go to Chicago? Because it seems like Wendy just fucked everything up by pretty much snitching on him and pretty much, being a rat, like, without anyone realizing it was actually her, except Jonah and Marty. What are they going to do? She can't really recover from that because she just tried to rat out her son. It's going to be really interesting. I'm going to be watching that episode, like, momentarily. But I'm out. I'm going to go edit the Wimby video, try to get that out as soon as possible. Have a good rest of your day. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. OG Fortnite. I'm going to be playing that today. Just do not worry about it. I will definitely be hopping on that game today. Probably all weekend. Probably all next week. Fucking damn near eternity. That game is amazing. Such a big part of my high school years. I have to fucking play that. So, I'm out, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Asteroid City movie because I decided to watch